This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate, and with me is a guy who hates secrets, but he can't tell me why. Brandon.
Yeah, it's just not something I'm able to divulge to you.
You can't tell me?
Mm-mm.
That's fine. So, what's new in your life?
We went to the aquarium.
Oh, did you go check out the claw?
That's the only reason we went to the aquarium, was to check out the claw. And to see the penguins.
And the penguins?
Yeah.
Were the penguins dying from this heat?
No, they're pretty chill.
They're pretty cool?
Yeah.
Cool penguins?
We should actually do, when we eventually do an episode on the aquarium itself and not just the claw, we should go feed the penguins. Do you know you can go feed them?
To let you feed the penguins?
Yeah, they have a whole feeding experience. Check out the videos. It looks like a lot of fun. They waddle in there and take the fish out of your hand. It's really cool.
I've never been to the aquarium here in Utah.
It was my first time too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, well, how outside of the penguins? How was the claw now that it's open?
It's just sitting there. It didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything for you?
At least not that I know yet. I might get sick.
What
about you?
One more question about the claw.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you have to pay to go walk around the claw area, or how does that work?
You don't have to pay extra, but you do have to pay to get into the aquarium.
So you have to be in the aquarium. So you can't just go by and walk around the claw without paying something.
No. And you definitely can't climb up it because there's security cameras all over the claw.
Oh, so those days are over.
Those days are long gone.
Of us
You
playing
missed your chance.
Of playing Jungle Gym on the claw. Mm-hmm. Or tag.
And you can't play Jungle Gym there either because they got Jungle Gyms, but they're all roped off because of, this world we live in now.
They have jungle gyms over there for real?
A couple, yeah.
Wow. Is that what's the word I'm looking for? To make it so people don't want to climb, so they can get their urges of climbing taken care of.
They can still climb, yeah.
So they can climb, because when you see the claw, you have the urge to climb, and if you can't climb the claw, then they have the jungle gyms there.
On the side of the claw, too.
On the side of the claw.
They've got the claw, and then down below, there's a little bit of a jungle gym section, but it was closed off.
I feel like they thought this thing through. Smart.
Or maybe they put in the jungle gym after the fact because they're like, well, I can't have them going up the claw, so let's have them climb on this instead.
So there you go. Smart. So.
What about you? What's new in your life?
Well, this last week, we took the family up to Snowbird and spent 4 days, I believe, up at the Cliffs Lodge. First time staying at the cliff. We go up every year to the Iron Blossom in June, but with the COVID-19 going on, they weren't open when we were supposed to go up there. So kids were kind of bummed we didn't get to go to Snowbird this year, so we found somebody renting out their timeshare at the cliff and rented it from them and spent the week up there. So it was kind of fun. They have a little 2-person hot tub on the balcony. So that was kind of a unique thing to have up there. And it's kind of interesting watching everybody walk through the hotel with masks on, and just something we're not used to. But yeah, so it was fun times. And then on Thursday, we decided to go hike up in the Alta ski resort area, which is the reason we're doing this episode.
But we can't tell everybody yet.
We can't tell anybody what we're talking about because it's a
secret. Shh, it's a secret. Because we're talking about Cecret Lake.
Cecret Lake with a
C.
And have we ever figured out why it's spelled with a C?
Well, if Wikipedia is any indication, no, there's not a solid reason why. But the speculation is that it was named after a miner in the area.
How long has Cecret Lake been around?
Approximately 2.6 billion years.
Just recently.
Yeah.
Just recently.
So it's been there for a minute.
It's been there for a while.
Well, it's a man-made reservoir. but we can't find definitively when. But the mountains have been there that long, so we're going to stick with that.
Yeah, well, I found out about Cecret Lake, the Secret, in high school. Like I said, I've been going up to Snowbird every year since I was basically a baby, but never really did any hiking up there until about high school age. And Cecret Lake was a good place to go because it's a fairly short hike and a cool place to get out and see some of the beautiful scenery of the mountains, especially the Little Cottonwood Mountains.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot of hiking when I was growing up, but we'd always go to Bell Canyon and we'd always go to Cecret Lake, I guess because they're relatively speaking easier hikes. So that's where we ended up. And one of my first dates with my wife was actually at Cecret Lake back in 2015.
Really?
Yeah.
Good place to go have a romantic date.
Of course.
Did you bring your guitar with you?
Not for that one,
Not that
but
one.
for a different date I did.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so like I was saying, the hike, if you park at the trailhead, which is now based at campground, right? We'll talk about that in a minute.
There's our picture.
He's showing me a picture, which you obviously cannot see, but it's a secret picture, so he's not going to show you anyways.
If you're one of our premium subscribers and you pay for the live stream, you can now see the picture that I'm showing everybody. So if you haven't jumped on that, make sure you get to it.
Just Venmo Brandon directly, and he'll get you hooked up.
I'll send you a picture of my third date with my wife going to Cecret Lake.
There you go. But yeah, like I said, it's not a terribly hard hike and to carry a guitar up to the lake, right? And
You can carry a baby or a guitar. So, how about those reviews?
yeah, let's dive into some reviews. This one was a little different since we're not at an establishment or a commercial type venue. Google right now has them ranked at a 4.7, and I went to the lowest rankings on Google, and the lowest ones they don't even have a 1-star ranking, but there was 2 people who gave it 2 stars, and there was a Kai B who gave it 3 stars, and she's the only one that kind of had a negative comment that I could find. She says, "An otherwise gorgeous place ruined by the endless stream of children screaming, people yelling, drones, and construction equipment noise. No matter how far away I got, there was no peace." Which I can understand her, I'm guessing it's a her, or this person's negative thoughts, but you are going to a very popular place and a very popular hike for families, so you kind of get what you get, right?
Yeah. But I found there's a whole community of hikers and trail finders. We do not fall into this category, Nate, I don't think. But a lot of people that seek out all the hikes. And I found this information on a website called All Trails. And there, Cecret Lake has 1,200 reviews. Still at 4.5 stars, so still a good review for them. But here I found a couple better reviews than that 3-star.
That's why I'm here.
So the first 1-star I found from Scott says, "If Lama you up Lee you shall tolly last morning is all be goods with my plot yiddle this year's I'm not you surest Utah IU." And he's a pro hiker, so I totally buy into what he said here.
Yeah, I don't speak, what would you call it, hikernese?
Hikernese.
But sounds like he was...
It's not good.
He
He's
wasn't
not happy.
very happy.
No. I got excited to know if there might be llamas there, but I didn't see any. Shelby says, "I used to love this hike until it grew in popularity. The ski lifts bring people practically right to it have ruined it for me. We picked up so much trash. It used to be our tradition to go once a year as it was My little one's first hike with the traffic jams on the switchbacks and the phones ringing while at the lake took away from the peaceful feelings I seek when going to the mountains. Pick up your trash, everyone. Echoed kind of in that other review you read. A lot of people not happy with how popular the secret place is.
Well, I bet you this year it's probably more popular than normal with everything that's going on. And you are minutes away from the city, right? So it's an easy place to get to.
A good majority of the negative reviews are people saying the road's closed during the winter. Big surprise there.
Which makes sense. I mean, we go, I think I've already mentioned like 3 times so far, but we go up every year to Snowbird in early June. And I think last year or the year before we tried to go hike Cecret Lake, and there was just too much snow still in June. So the road was closed to get up to the lake, but even trying just to hike up a little bit, there was just too much snow. So I don't think they usually open till the end of June or sometimes even July.
Yeah.
So I think I saw online that this year it didn't really open up till July 20th.
Wow.
I think that's what I saw.
So there's a small window when people can actually go here, so that's why during that time it's going to be pretty popular.
Right.
Kelsey gave it 3 stars and said she saw a beautiful moose. If I saw a moose, I'd give it 5 stars.
My wife and I think 2 years ago, in early June again, staying at the Iron Blossom. At night we like to go for a walk, and they have a little pond over by the Snowbird Center, is what it's called. And we were walking around the corner towards the pond, and I had grabbed my wife and said, "Stop." She was like, "What?" There was a moose sitting right in the middle of the pond, just staring us down. So I'm like, "Yeah, we'll turn around and go the other way." But we've almost every year, except for this year that we went up, or this week, we didn't see one, but we usually see at least one moose wandering around up there.
When I went in, I didn't see a single moose. There was not much moose in when I went.
Well, I saw a flock of geese.
You did?
Mucho más geesen. He did, however, see a lot of squirrels.
I saw a lot of squirrels as well.
See lots of squirrels up there. There's a website called utah.com that has a little thing about Cecret Lake. And they say, every Utah local has done this hike. If you haven't, repent ye. The best part about Cecret Lake, it never gets old. The wildflowers are the best in the state. The hike is just easy and lovely. The whole family will love it. And the sunsets just below Sugarloaf are incredible. The worst part about Cecret Lake, it's not so secret. Yes, you will see other human beings, but don't let that deter you. Get to know your neighbors and all those tourists asking directions to wildflower heaven. Cecret Lake might soon be called Kumbaya Lake, where all the troubles flee. I'll tell you about our experience this last week. I think this is the first kind of real hike we've taken our kids on. Something more than just half a mile. Going up there in high school, you could drive all the way up to the trailhead, right? With no problems. But now, not necessarily problems, but now they have a campground up there that I didn't know of. But it sounds like doing my research, they just started doing the campgrounds a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so when you pull up, there's the little booth so you can quote the Alta Ski Resort, no problem. But if you want to go up towards the trail for the camping and the Cecret Lake, there's the fee booth, and it's $8 just to get in for the day, or you can pay to camp up there. So, or
you can park down at the bottom and then walk up, but it's a long walk.
So that's how our story begins. So there was a big line of people. So we parked literally across the street from the booth, and I walked over to the guy. There was 2 guys working the booth. So one guy was helping a customer in their car, and the other guy came out and I said, "Hey, it's been a while since I've been up to Cecret Lake. How do we get there from here?" And he said, "Well, you can pay like Brandon just said, the $8 to go in and park at the trailhead, mm-hmm. or you can walk from here." We're like, "Well, how far is the trailhead from here?" And we got total misinformation. So he was saying 1.5 miles to the trailhead, 1 mile up, so we got 2.5, And then, so round trip, going back, so I asked him specifically, I said, so round trip to get back to my truck, 5 miles. He's like, yeah. We're like, great. So we're like, that's not bad. And it would be, because we were kind of like, it'd be good for the kids to push them a little bit and not just do like a mile hike. It'd be over too quick. And it's like, let's give this a whirl. So by the time we got up to the trailhead, it was probably 3 miles. And then another mile up to the lake. And so...
And then back.
And back. All the way back. I know I've said this before, but I have 2 autistic boys that aren't very outdoorsy. So it was a lot of fun, especially with my middle child. Kept saying, my legs are having a nightmare. Something along those lines, and was complaining. I mean, he was complaining just a half a mile in, like the whole... So to distract him, what I had to do is we started playing the alphabet game. He didn't really get into that, and I think I mentioned before, but he's really into the Skylanders game. So I said, let's play the Skylanders version.
I'd love to hear what they had to say about it. I mean,
well, you're in luck. You're in luck. So we did. So when I got back to the room, we went swimming shortly after getting back to the room after being super exhausted. But then after, so he kind of calmed down. But then I sat him down and did a little interview with them. Actually, to be completely honest with you, they did a lot better than I thought they would and didn't complain as much. And then after, it said I had 90 floors, which 90 flights of stairs is what it was equivalent to. Never walked that many stairs in a week, let alone one day. So, anyways, let's take a listen to the interview I did with my children, and then we'll chat a little bit more after. So we're here with Rocky, Bronco, and Scarlett. Rocky, how old are you?
13.
Bronco, how old are you?
11.
Scarlett, how old are you?
9.
So can you guys tell me, where did we go today?
Snowbird.
Cecret Lake.
We went to Snowbird.
Yes.
And then we went to Cecret Lake. Okay.
We're specifically at the cliff.
The
Oh,
cliff snowbird.
we're staying at the Cliff Lodge, right?
Yeah.
And we decided to go on a hike today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we went to Cecret Lake.
Yeah.
So, how far do you guys think we hiked today? How long did we hike?
I don't know.
Or how
We
far?
went 10 miles. When we
So it was
went
like 2
hiking and when
minutes?
we went back.
Is it 2
So
minutes?
10 miles round trip.
Yeah.
Bronco, how far do you think we hiked today?
2 miles?
2 miles? Scarlett, how far do you think we hiked today?
5.
So I think we ended up round trip close to 9 miles today.
So Rocky's the closest.
So Rocky is the closest. So
Doug was the farthest.
let's start with Bronco. Bronco, what was your favorite part about the hike? Your favorite part?
About trying to figure about the letters about Skylanders.
So we played a game called the alphabet game and tried to name a Skylander for every letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
That was your favorite part?
Yeah.
Okay. Scarlett, what was your favorite part about the hike?
Touching the water of Cecret Lake.
Yeah.
I'm throwing rocks at it.
Was the water at Cecret
I like
Lake
the rocks
cold?
too.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah. Yeah, you just put your fingers in real quick, right? And then threw some rocks
Yeah.
in the lake, try to skip some rocks. Rocky, what was your favorite part?
None.
None of it?
No.
Did you like the lake?
No.
Okay. So let's ask the opposite question. What thing did you hate the most about the hike or not like about it?
Walking like 9 miles.
Walking 9 miles?
Yes.
Bronco, what part did you not like?
Walking the whole day and we had to walk to back.
We had to walk all the way up and all the way back?
Yeah.
Was it hard?
Yeah.
It was really hard, huh?
Yeah. My legs start to tired. And
Yeah.
now my legs are resting.
Your legs are resting?
Yeah.
Rocky, what was your part you hated the most?
Everything.
Everything?
I can see.
So, question is, would you do it again?
No.
Bronco says no.
If we drive to closer to the Cecret Lake, and it'll be like
Shorter walking distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next time, drive up to the trailhead.
yeah.
No.
No.
You wouldn't do it again.
What?
You wouldn't do it again.
No.
No. Okay. So what advice would you give to people who want to go hike Cecret Lake? What advice would you give them?
Go closer to the Cecret Lake.
Go closer to Cecret Lake.
Yes. Just bring lots of water.
Lots of water.
Lots of water.
Anything you want to say, Rock?
If you want to go hiking, then sure, just bring plenty of water to stay hydrated, and hopefully you'll have a good time here.
All right.
Neat.
Thanks, guys. I wish now, hindsight, that I would have interviewed him right after we got back to the room, because I'm sure it would have been a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
More authentic.
More authentic, but more entertaining.
Yeah. So we decided to go up today. Took my 16-month-old daughter to go with us. So we didn't plan on doing any hiking actually up to the lake. And I'd been there before, so I had an idea about it. But we drove there, and my sister-in-laws had gone before. So they warned us it was really busy, and we were kind of in for that. We actually got up to the place where you stopped and walked from. There's no way we were going to walk 4.2 miles, which we found out was actually the distance. So we waited about a half an hour just in line to get into to drive up.
To pay your fee.
To pay your fee, yeah.
Wow.
Because there were so many people up there. I mean, it's a Sunday. There's a lot of these churchgoers that aren't going to church, so they don't got much else to do other than to go up to the hikes. They would have to let like 3 or 4 cars come down the mountain before they'd even let the next car go up, just because of how packed it was up there, and there's no parking. The parking is a really bad. One of the other negatives about this place that people have shared. It ended up not being as... The guy told us maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. It only ended up being about a half an hour that we waited. We got up to that first trailhead that wasn't actually Cecret Lake, and we walked around. And the wildflowers are a big draw right now, and that's why so many people are going up, is because they're really pretty and they're like all over the place.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And so we took pictures and let my daughter, she likes to smell flowers, so we played in there a bit. And after we'd done that, then some of the people that we saw walking up finally caught up to us after all this walking, like what you did. And so...
Well, I'm glad you didn't get like misinformation from that guy. Making it sound like it's just around the corner.
They charge you $8 at the spot. They should know. Though when you get up there, though, like, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome up there, but we didn't spend a whole lot of time at the lake.
Well, your kids were done being outside at that
They
point.
were done being outside. We brought a bunch of bottled water, but obviously it was a hotter day, even though it's cooler up the mountains compared to... So I was worried about water and all that good stuff. Luckily, we went back down and got to the trailhead. There's the campsite, and they had a spigot for water, so we could fill up our water bottles again, take a little break. But yeah, it was definitely a fun adventure to almost basically do a half marathon for their first hiking experience.
And now when you tell them, hey, we're going to go on a hike, I don't think they're going to jump to do that.
We're going to have to trick them into doing it. We'll have to try a little easier hike next time to let them enjoy it. But even though Rocky in the interview I did with him said he didn't like it, but when he got to the top, he says, I got to be honest, this is pretty cool. Like, the view up there is awesome. The lake is awesome. One thing I thought was interesting when we actually, the trailhead kind of starts at the campground, right? And one thing that's different from when I used to go 20 plus years ago is they have almost like, we call it in Scouts like a trading post, right? They have like a little store there where you can buy stuff. And if I would have known that, I would have brought my wallet. So I didn't even have my wallet with me, because we could have at least bought the kids like a popsicle or something at the booth that might have made them happy. But
It is, a lot of people say this is classified as an easy hike, but there's some points in it that are a little hard.
yeah,
The beginning's not that bad, but when you get to that what is going through all these reviews, I found some hiker terminology like a switchback. I'm not very good with it, so I don't know what that is. But when you get to that point of the hike, it's a little steep and it can be treacherous if you're not careful.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Probably for the last maybe quarter mile, it's like that. You have to be a little coordinated. If you're not very coordinated, I had to make sure that my boys and weren't going to fall over, especially going back down.
Yeah.
Going up was easier than going back down.
And it's a lot harder when it gets really busy because you have to kind of take your turn because there's people going up and you have to wait for them because there's not enough room, and so kind of have to be.
There was a bunch of times where we had to tell people we had to scoot over and let them pass us. But one thing I thought was interesting that going up, I never knew. I knew there was no fish. You can't fish in the lake because there is no fish. You can't swim in it because of being the watershed thing. But when we were passing the campground, this kid came walking by and he had like a little Ziploc bag. And he had a fishing pole too, but he had like a Ziploc bag and it looked like there was a fish in there. And I was like, huh? Like, where did he get that from? But it turns out that they have tiger salamanders in the lake, but they're on like the west side of the lake is what I could find. So that's probably what he had in his little baggie that he pulled one of those out. So a fun game we were playing though on the way down is we were kind of walking in a line, trying to stay off the road so we didn't get hit by cars. But I would say because there were a lot of cars passing us because I think it was Thursday. It was a Thursday we hiked up there, so I think a lot of people were getting up there for the weekend for camping.
Right.
So tons of cars were passing us on the road. We should have hitchhiked our way up and down.
So I was going to ask you, should have.
We should have.
Sometimes they have a shuttle that I learned as well.
Yeah, saw the shuttle. I also saw that you even mentioned one of yours, but one of the reviews you read, that they even had a ski lift operating, but it wasn't operating when I was there, so I don't know if they still do that. But going back to walking down, when a car was coming out, you'd go 1, 2, 3, and we'd all like wave at the same time, and we had played a little game to see how many people we could get to wave back to us. So it's kind of interesting. It was a very eye-opening experience to figure out which cars or types of cars would wave to you and what types of It was easier going down, obviously, than going up, but it was definitely a hike. So what do you listen to on a hike?
I listen to some podcasts. I listen to the This Is a Place podcast.
I listen to a trail mix. One more. Knock, knock.
Okay, one more.
One more. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hike.
Haiku.
No, this is a knock, knock joke.
Oh, man. A good hike. Good one for families. And if you go there, you can expect to see other families there. You might see moose. You might see salamanders. You're going to definitely see some squirrels.
Yeah, a lot of squirrels. Even saw a little bit of roadkill.
The whole area is considered the Albion Basin. There's also one I found called Devil's Castle, which is a cool hike. But a lot of different things you can do if you want to avoid... Yeah, because everyone wants to go to Cecret Lake, but you can have other hikes within Little Cottonwood Canyon and still avoid the bigger crowds of everyone wanting to see the lake.
Yeah, and you can even, from what I was reading, you can even go above beyond Cecret Lake.
Oh, wow. So go up there if you can now because the wildflowers are out and really cool to see, but just know you may have to wait, and it is a little hot right now. But they even do wildflower tours, which I saw.
Do they? But, if it's 100 degrees down in the valley, it's like 85 up there. So it's actually pretty cool.
Much nicer.
Much nicer compared to the valley. So I just hope that, if anything, one listener knows that it's not 2.5 miles up to the trailhead and learns from our experience to not trust the guy at the booth. Or maybe he thought it was a funny prank, but not so funny to us. Even though I got all my steps in that day. So,
more than all your steps.
Which is funny because my Fitbit said that welcome to the, what did it call it? Skyscraper Club. I got like a skyscraper badge because we hiked as tall as a skyscraper. So I didn't even know that was a thing with your Fitbit. So tell your friends the secret of Cecret Lake is to park at the trailhead. That's the big secret.
And make sure you bring your trail mix along with you.
Bring your trail mix.
Well, thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
See y'all next week.